I just logged in. What should I actually look at first?
Start with the signals that can change today's work. By the end of this tour, you'll know what deserves attention, where to verify it, and how to shape the dashboard around your role. The dashboard is a role-aware summary. It gives you a fast reading of live priorities and performance arranged around the work your account may view. But keep one rule in mind from the beginning: the dashboard is not the final record for every decision. It points you toward the right workspace. You verify important details there. Read this screen in 3 zones. First, the left sidebar tells you where you can go. Second, the band above the cards tells you which reporting period you're viewing and gives you page-level actions. Third, the dashboard blocks tell you what may need attention: navigation, timelines, priorities. If you can find those 3 anchors, the workspace stops feeling like one long menu. Here's a reliable first 5 minutes routine. Begin with customer outcomes, new leads, applications, showing changes, maintenance requests, and unread messages. Next, check site errors and any integration problem your role can see before you publish unrelated changes. Then, after you complete the work, return to the dashboard or reload it. Confirm that the summary changed the way you expected. Urgent outcomes first, system health second, confirmation last. Start broad with Portfolio Snapshot. It groups the number of properties, the available and occupied counts, and the average advertised rent for this tenant. The values on screen belong to the fictional North Star demo fixture. They are teaching data, not a customer result. Use this card for context. If availability or occupancy looks surprising, open the property's workspace and inspect the actual listing states before you act. The lead pipeline separates new, active, converted, and total leads. That helps you see where attention may be building, but it doesn't tell you the full story of any one inquiry. Treat the count as a signal. Open leads, check the intended date range and filters, then review the record before assigning it, contacting someone, or changing its status. The card tells you where to look. The list is where the work happens. Maintenance pulse deserves a different kind of reading. Urgency and workflow status are related, but they are not the same question. Urgency asks how serious the issue may be. Status asks where the request is in the process. A request can deserve attention because it is urgent, because it is new, or because it has stalled. Open maintenance requests to triage the item itself before dispatch or resolution decisions. Traffic Snapshot and Traffic Trend add visitor context, sessions, page views, conversions, and movement across the selected period. They do not prove why a change happened. Small samples can create dramatic-looking swings, so compare equivalent windows and inspect the underlying content or conversion record. One movement is evidence to investigate. It is not proof of cause.
Okay, but what if one of these numbers looks wrong?
Reload once. Then open the destination list and compare its filters and reporting period. Confirm you're on the intended tenant host and using the intended staff account. If the source list is also wrong, open a support ticket with the page, expected result, actual result, and safe reproduction steps. Use record references or redacted examples. Never paste passwords, tokens, or private application details into the report. Now choose the time lens intentionally. 7 days is useful for the immediate pulse. 30 days gives you a practical working baseline and is the default here. 90 days helps you look for a broader pattern. 1 year can reveal seasonality that a short window hides. The selected period applies to the dashboard's period-aware blocks. Compare like with like. A 7-day spike beside a 1-year average is not a fair comparison unless you explain the difference. Here's the operating rule to remember: signal, verify, act, confirm. Use the dashboard card as the signal. Open the linked workspace and verify the records, filters, and date range. Take the action in that source workspace. Then return to the dashboard or reload it to confirm the summary reflects what you expected. This protects you from making a decision based on an aggregate card that cannot show every detail. The sidebar is easier to remember if you think in 3 practical lanes. This is a learning map, not a relabeling of the product. Website work includes properties, neighborhoods, pages, blog posts, menus, media, theme, and SEO. Leasing work includes messages, forms, leads, applications, and showings. Operations includes analytics, site errors, maintenance, and the queues your role owns. You don't need to memorize every destination today. Ask which lane the outcome belongs to, then follow the exact label in the sidebar. When you forget what a page tells you, use help for this page. On the dashboard, contextual help explains what the summary means, the recommended daily routine, what customization changes, and what to check when a number looks wrong. This is the fastest way to recover the page's intended workflow without guessing. Read the guidance, return to the source screen, and continue from the step you can verify. Select Customize when the default layout doesn't match the work you own. This screen changes your permitted block choices, their order, and their size. Your changes affect your dashboard. They do not rewrite the underlying tenant records. That distinction matters. You can make leads prominent for a leasing role or keep maintenance and site health near the top for an operations role without changing what those workspaces contain. Search the block library by the outcome you need, then build for responsibility rather than maximum density. A leasing teammate may prioritize lead, application, showing, and message blocks. An operations lead may surface maintenance, site errors, and portfolio health. A content editor may prefer traffic, recent content, and SEO signals. These are example layouts, not access grants. The library and the final dashboard remain limited by the permissions on the signed-in role. Use the arrow controls for precise keyboard ordering, choose a supported block size, and remove only what no longer helps your routine. Save dashboard when the layout is ready. Choose Cancel if you're only exploring and don't want to commit the change. If the layout becomes noisy or stops serving the role, Restore Role Default returns you to the Property CMS starting point for that role. Exploration has a recovery path. Finally, use ViewSite to reconnect admin work with the visitor experience. The public North Star homepage shown here is fictional demo content. It is not a customer result. When you change website-facing content later in this series, this is where you'll verify the renter-facing outcome on desktop and mobile. Admin tells you what you configured. The public site shows you what a visitor can actually see.
Let me say it back. Start with the priority signals. Choose the reporting period. Open the source list before acting. Use contextual help when the page is unclear. And shape the dashboard around the work I actually own. Then return and confirm.
Exactly. That's your first Workday dashboard routine. In the next tutorial, we'll create and publish a complete fictional rental property. Try PropertyCMS.Click.